jungle, lion in the concrete jungle, lion in the jungle, lion in the concrete jungle.
So this is the Stop the Ship podcast. This is the Stop the Ship podcast, right?
Pretty sure last time I checked.
So, I mean, what are we concerned with on the Stop the Ship podcast?
Giving the people some shit that matters
And stopping the ship,
and stopping the fucking cycle.
right? Sea of my people. Friendships I'm locked into.
Oh shit, you're gonna be solo on this one.
But I hate humans. I'd rather have my solitude.
Oh yeah.
Cause they think evil.
Okay.
Speak and hear it too. But I never let it get in the way of what I'm here to do.
Facts.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we enter this new year, some of us have some very exciting and incredible opportunities already, and we're going to be getting into that. But as we embark in this new year, 2020, and we all have different aspirations and goals that we want to accomplish and crush, I have to warn you, in the words of the late, great Walter White, tread lightly.
I like that.
Every day you wake up and you step outside of the front door in the morning and it's grind time, you're going to encounter negative people, cancerous, toxic people that are going to be nothing but anchors trying to hold you back from progress as you pursue your goals. In my best Denzel voice, and I don't got,
You're doing pretty good.
and I don't got any Denzel voice at all.
Let's hear it.
As sure as you were born, they will try to take your life. But in my same Denzel voice, King Kong ain't got shit on me. So whenever you encounter these people, as you embark on this new year in the pursuit of your goals, never let it get in the way of what I'm here to do.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Shout out to Twisted Insane. This is episode
We about
20.
to say in sync.
This is episode 20 of the Stop the Ship podcast.
Episode 20. Big old
Let's get
episode
it.
20. Fuck yeah, bro. That was a great intro. I like that.
Let's get it. That was my monologue.
I like that, bro.
Speaking of monologues, you see the Golden Globes?
Nah.
I don't know the guy's name. I can't remember. He's a comedian. Like a
Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, man. He slayed it.
The guy in the original Office.
He slayed the monologue, bro.
Did he?
Yeah, absolutely. He roasted all of Hollywood.
That's how you got to do it.
He roasted Apple with the CEO in the room.
Oh, really?
Anyway. Fun
Yeah,
fact, current news.
That's what I'm learning is like, all these things that has held like, specifically probably entertainment back is like this censorship of like, well, you can't piss them off. You can't say that.
Yeah.
Like, but that's just a invisible wall that was put there when the talent had no
Control.
power.
Yep.
But now, because of shit like this,
Yeah.
because of these opportunities, now the power has shifted.
Yep.
It used to be like 5 or 6 studio heads and they control everything. Now you got people like Jordan Peele who worked for like low class fucking sketch shows, and was fired from different places, made his own show that did pretty well, but then made his own production company.
Yeah.
Now that motherfucker's won an Oscar.
Yep.
Like creating all this shit on his own. And he said that he's doing it for the people with no voice.
Yeah.
Because he was once that person.
Right.
And so
There's
it's
a lot more opportunities that are afforded us now.
Yeah, the power has shifted.
It's interesting, and it's going to continue to shift. And then what's the trajectory going to look like? What's the future of television going to look like
I think this.
as the power continues to shift over to the people?
I think so you're going to notice that these big YouTube stars like Logan Paul or whatever, I think these big YouTube channels are going to start their own production companies, and they're going to have, that motherfucker's
I think it's already happening.
Yeah, it's probably already happening. I just think you'll see it more and more where these people produce high-end movies because they have a lot of fucking money.
Yep.
So I think you're going to see the creators have all the power pretty soon. And yeah, you're right. Maybe that will shift back the other way. But for right now, it's like that golden age of it's the wild, wild west.
But it may not shift back.
It may not.
I mean, very
It
well.
shouldn't.
You could be looking like 50 years from now. Who knows what technology is going to do? But
Yeah.
if the sway of control does continue to shift towards the people, I mean, I think we could very well see the potential crumble of television.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean,
it's already happened.
At least certain genres
Look at
of
the
television.
look at the ratings and stuff on everything.
Hmm.
They don't get nearly as many like views as they used to.
Mr.
Like,
Crabeyes.
What?
Mr. Crabeyes.
Well, fucking look it up. Look at just the NFL, for
Okay.
example. Throw it up there. The NFL, for example, or anything like, these cable shows, like the main cable networks, they used to get like in the tens of millions of viewers.
Can we get the Crabeyes up there? Okay.
Tens of millions of viewers, and then now they're lucky to get like a couple million viewers,
Yeah.
even on big shows on ABC and shit like that.
True. Streaming services are impacting that greatly.
Yeah, that's
Things are a lot
the
more
biggest
affordable.
influence. But yeah, man, it's so crazy. Just think about back when we would record music and put it on MySpace. Like if you said, "Yo, one day we're gonna have our own show, Brad." Like
Yeah.
years from now, with our own set, our own equipment, you would probably have been like, "All right, that seems a little far fetched." You
True.
would have gave me the Mr. Crab Eyes then.
Yeah, I would have. But you know what else is
So
crazy
you can't
is
always
that.
trust the Mr. Crab Eyes people. That's what I'm trying to say.
But you know what else is crazy is that back at that point in time, I mean, that was really, we could maybe say 10 years ago,
yeah.
maybe a little bit
Probably a
longer,
little longer.
12.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, like that's not that long of a time.
Oh, no, not at all.
And so, like, imagine what the next 12 years could hold. Like 12 years from now, what are we gonna be? What are we
Yeah.
gonna be? How are we gonna be?
You never know, bro.
Shit, we might be 40.
I
I'm
mean,
getting old, bro.
if you think so, right now I'm wearing my dad's Navy jacket on.
Show him the coat, man.
I wanted to wear this on Veterans Day, but your boy was slacking. Your boys were slacking a little bit.
Is your boy can slacking?
So I wanted to wear this in honor of all the veterans out there. But this is my pop's jacket. He was on the USS America. I forgot which number, but this was in '86. My dad, Mike West, rest in peace. But think
Yes,
if you
sir.
told somebody back in the '80s that we were going to be doing something like this. Think
Oh.
about how far-fetched that was.
Yeah, no
you
doubt.
know?
Mind blowing.
And this is where we are. So I'm excited to see where we're gonna go. Yeah, I'll
Show
the
him, man.
people.
Show him.
Your boygan. These are the places he traveled.
He said this is all the places he traveled.
Your boygan. Love the pops.
It's a fly jacket.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah, I had to make it a point to wear it, even though we're past Veterans Day. You know.
Well, we've had a lot of things transpire between the last couple episodes.
Yeah, man.
I think we've been over it though.
It's just crazy what's changed since that first episode. Fucking June.
Yeah.
Like, and where we're at now.
Yeah. So you guys, if you're tuned in on the visual, look, you can see the new set, and it's been
It's
added
coming
to
together.
even since last week. You know,
We got them SS shelves.
it's gonna keep growing too.
We got them Stop the Shit mugs up there.
Oh,
We got the essence of where all this shit started between me and Brad. All
Yeah.
it was just a mic. We used to do
One mic.
some fucking rap music back in the day when we were like 15, 16, probably even a little
No,
younger.
I remember starting at age 9.
Yeah, together our first recording was when you lived in fucking Lincolnton or wherever that was, in that 2-story.
That was probably 10 or
Place.
11 years old.
Yeah. And that's what it started with. And we did sound recorder on your computer with headphones.
Yep.
And
It was the cheapest that you could possibly have.
yeah. And all you could do is just fast forward. The only editing you could do to the voice was fast forwarding it
Yeah.
or slowing it down.
Or playing in reverse.
So that's why I thought it was important to get something like this, because like this is like the essence of where I believe that this whole show started.
Yeah.
I believe that things
That's
happen
fire,
for
man.
a reason, and this all fucking came together in this crazy way. Just our friendship and then moving away from each other for so many years, and then me coming back down and us deciding, we should do a podcast.
Yeah.
Like you already have so much experience in like this video creator world, and you know, it's so crazy how it's come together, man.
I know.
Like it's so fucking cool.
I know.
And we manifested all this shit. Like it started off, like I said before the show, it started off with these 2 chairs.
Yep.
Like we were like, dude, we got these chairs. Like you know,
yeah.
we got some mics because you know he does recording. I bought mics for a podcast years ago.
And it just feels good. It just feels good to speak something into existence, and then it does manifest itself. It is that what's the word?
Culmination.
Yeah, it's not that. It's that validation.
Okay, there we
It's
go.
the
That's one of the
validation.
Asians.
Like we did believe this into existence, and then it happened, and it just feels good, man.
It started
Got something else too.
on our first set with the tapestry. I don't know if the folks out there knew, but that wasn't real wood back there. That was a $15 tapestry. And I was like, yo, can't wait till we get our own set and we can fucking put some shelves on the wall. And, you know, is our own studio. Put them damn shelves in the wall. What the hell you doing?
You probably didn't know also, but your boy picked a little something up, and I'm gonna add this into the set one way or another. But this right here, I just want you to know. If you come at me
Oh
half
shit,
stepping,
he's got this is like 300
do
right
you
now.
understand? This is stop the shit.
I want to be that blind dude that like he got to bail at the last second and just go tell all them like, yo, those motherfuckers fought a hell of a war, but we gonna have to back them up. But
I think that's a good idea.
Now it's our fucking place. Put them shelves in. Put that logo on the wall.
Cash.
Set coming together.
Put the money on the wood.
Yeah, we just told our producer, yo, here's $3 billion.
Make it
us a
happen.
set.
Make it happen.
And he made it happen. Shout out Peg Leg.
Oh man, feels good too. Things are more comfortable, you know. Things look good. Look at this, and we're gonna keep. Anyway, I don't want to keep harping on it. It's fire,
me too,
right?
but
Don't be jealous.
It is
all right?
exciting, especially if you've been here since the beginning. You guys are gonna be the ones that say like, "Yo, I remember when you were hearing
You had that
loud
shitty
ass
camera.
rap music bumping through the middle of the podcast."
Yeah, the white stuff on the ceiling was falling off
All
on your
that shit,
head.
bro.
Yeah, on the camera. Anyway, we back, and it's a new year. And
It's a new year,
so I
2020.
alluded in the very beginning to some exciting opportunities that are coming about. Now, we mentioned it a while back,
Not too
a while back, several episodes back. But my man had an opportunity, an employment opportunity arise. Tell him about it. And to go along with manifesting shit into reality. Hit him with it, man.
So yeah, we've talked about it before, and you know, I had an opportunity come through with the company that I used to work for, and you know, nothing was set in stone. It was like all like, you know, this could be on the table. You know, we haven't solidified the contract with this company, so like there is possibly an opportunity. None of the numbers were worked out or anything yet. I told you guys they flew me up there. We talked numbers. We talked what could be if this contract were to go through. And then they told me on Friday that this contract went through. We already agreed to my terms. And so your boy starts in 2 weeks. And
Put the money on the wood.
What?
Put the money on the wood.
Yeah, man, it's fucking crazy. Like, so I left that place, you know, to come down here to North Carolina, to, you know, start something on my own, start my own business. And the way life goes, like, you know, some things got changed around, some unexpected plans happened, just like life always happens. And, you know, that plan had to be put on the back burner for a little while. So I went from like making a good salary to coming down here, having to start all the way over from something that I worked so hard for. And it was tough, like, to walk away from that and then be dealt these hands and, you know, to try to have to make it work. And then come
Fuck
to
yeah, man.
fruition that, you know, not only am I making what I used to make, I'm making more.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm given more time to, be with my friends and family, to where I don't have to work like crazy ass hours in order to make that. And, I'm down here making that amount of money where, down here that goes a little further than it does up there.
For sure. 100%.
So it's just like so much validation to, believe in myself that I could walk away from something that I'm sure a lot of people thought was stupid at the time. But just having that inner belief that, I could get back there and, my skills will get me back there. And, I wasn't afraid of walking away. And sometimes that money, like, holds people, no matter how much it is. Sometimes it holds people, and like that, I don't have commitments of like a kid or those things yet, so it's a little bit easier for me to be able to walk away from something like that, but it's still not easy.
Right.
And I walked away with the inner belief that, and this is something that fucking drives me, is that I will get the last laugh. And whether that's positive or not, that is something that I carry through all my life, and with all my struggles with people and places that I work and everything like that. It's always like this inner belief that I'll get the last laugh.
Fuck yeah, man.
And I did.
And it carries you on.
And it's not the ending laugh. Like, there's still many more laughs, but
for sure.
Like nobody ever gave me anything. Like I made all this happen from just fucking walking on a doorstep one day.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing happened from walking into this company that I had no idea about. I had no experience in this industry, and fucking I made it happen. And it's just a lot of validation, and to be, you were here for me for times when like fucking I didn't have $1 to spend for a coffee, you know?
Yeah, sure.
And now things aren't going to be like that. And, now I'm in a place where, something I've wanted my whole life, and all this stuff has come to fruition. And it's just, it's such a blessing. Fuck, man. I wish I remembered the quote, but it was something Dustin Poirier said after he lost to Khabib in the championship, where he was like, when times are good, be grateful. And when times aren't good, be graceful. I think that's what he said. I might have gotten it wrong, but, it's basically just a summarization of like just having that positive outlook no matter the outcome.
Yeah.
And it's
that hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that hope.
That's what's up, man.
Fuck yeah, bro.
So I've just got to say, like, I grew up with this kid, and I know that I know what he's like. Right. I know where we both come from. And so to see him, I don't know, man. To see you come from where you were just a short while ago.
Yeah.
And not only physically, but also mentally.
Yeah. Probably more of that than anything.
Yeah. And got your own house, man. Got this fire job that you manifested. I witnessed you manifest it.
Yeah.
It's fucking dope, man.
I appreciate it, bro.
Proud of you, bro.
Thank you.
Hey, look, I got something else for y'all. And I don't know if this is going to be appropriate with you or not, but...
Go for it, bro. Damn, it's getting hot in here already. Go ahead.
Came across a little something else. Peg's gonna zoom in on it because Peg's got them fire editing skills.
You better watch out with that glare.
I'm trying not to get the glare. Since my man's wearing the jacket, I figured, hey, we stumbled across a little memorabilia, man. And it makes me think, I know my father. I don't know if you want to prop this up or if you don't. I know that my father instilled, like, we both had similar dads. And so, like, despite the flaws, I know that we picked up.
Yeah, they had
real beneficial gems along the way, even if it was through the mud. And can't help but feel like he had a bit of an influence on perhaps the drive or the kind of person that you've now turned into.
Yeah.
and all of the things that you now have.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, people always told me about my dad, like, you know, he's so fucking talented. Like he's got so much, but you know, he just never put it all together. Like he had all these obstacles that he could never overcome.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it comes to like alcohol abuse and shit like that.
Right.
So from early on, it was like an inner belief that like, you know, I'm just like him. I have those same things. Am I going to let something stop me? And is my life going to be defined by like, well, yeah, he's like, you know, has always stuck in my head is wasted talent, you know? And it was like, do I want to be wasted talent, you know?
Right.
And it's so funny because we've talked about these things, and I don't like the word epiphany, but I had like a moment to myself.
It's a great word. I'm sorry.
I had like a moment to myself where I was like, you know, we talked about how my dad said in that letter to my cousin of like, you're so beautiful and talented, but you have that west devil of self-destruction in you.
Yep.
And, you know, for like at the beginning when I heard that, like I felt like, you know, yeah, that is, maybe I do have that. And then I went through a long period of time where I was like, fuck that. That's not me. Like, you know, that has nothing to do with me.
Right.
You know? But then I was thinking the other night is like, maybe that's being too defensive to be like, oh, that has nothing to do with me.
Gotcha.
Like maybe that's too dismissive. Maybe it's there, and there are little things that I do that are self-destructive.
Sure.
You know, and I think there are.
I don't think we escaped the environment unscathed.
Yeah, and like if you think you have, you're not thinking fully about it.
You know what the crazy blessing in this is, and you know we kind of juggle with whether everything happens for a reason or not, but it's quite interesting. That letter was never intended for you.
Yeah, yeah.
The fact that it came across your hands and you got the opportunity to read it, and then that stuck with you this long. You're fucking 30, you old ass.
Yeah, well, not yet, but soon.
And the fact that you've gone up back and forth with it, and now you're deposited where you are in the state of mind that you are, a healthier state of mind.
Yeah.
With that, it's awesome.
Yeah, and it's like, so with this job, like, you know, I'm going to be allowed a lot of free time. And, you know, I'm going to be away from my friends and family. So it's like, what am I going to do with that free time? Am I going to, you know, be productive with it and work towards my goals? Or am I going to do things like, you know, that aren't the most, like, aren't positive things for me to do,
Sure.
You know? And, you know, it's, in some ways, I think I do have that form of like self-destruction. I don't think it's in my blood. I think it comes from when you come from a bad place with substance abuse and all that thing.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, your idea of what you deserve gets like fucked with, you know?
Sure.
So I just had like an epiphany of like, well, so what are you going to do? Like, are you going to do some of the things that maybe you do that can be self-destructive? Maybe they haven't been, but they could lead to something like that. Not that I do anything like really bad or anything anyways, but even a mentality can bring you that way, you know?
Absolutely.
So it's just like an epiphany of like, be aware, because these moments, everything is going good for you. Everything is like what you always wanted. Yeah. It's a good point. So it's like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna fuck this all up?
Yep.
Or are you gonna like, you know, keep going on that trajectory?
The decisions we make do matter.
A lot.
100%.
And so yeah, like it was like a nice little pivot to have to remember, like, yeah, things are going good, but you know, they won't if you don't make the right decisions. Yeah. So, you know, my focus is getting sharper and sharper by the day. Like, you know, and it's such a important thing when they talk about surrounding yourself with, you know, positive people and people that are going after their goals.
Like-minded people, yep.
You know, being down here, I'm surrounded by people that are going after their goals, you know?
Right.
And like a huge part of that is like being around you and Tyree, like two guys that in their own lives, in their own sense, like are working towards things and, you know, are accomplishing goals, you know? And it's so important, like where we talk about that 2-step process of just like picking 2 things to accomplish.
Yeah.
Like, because even a small goal accomplished can go a real long way. And I know I'm rambling and shit, but you got me all emotional showing me a
It's
picture
episode
of my
20,
dad.
man. It's an important occasion.
But both times I thought, oh shit, maybe you borrowed a present. You're just picking shit around the room that I left.
First of all, these are things that I came across, all right?
Yeah, because
These aren't just laying around the room, all right? Hand-picked with care and precision.
Be like, I got something else. You pull out this TV over.
On my shoulder. You're never going to believe it. We're going to mount it on the wall.
We already talked about your first day in the ICU, right?
Yeah.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, man.
I've been telling people about that too. I do think that is like a weird sign, you know?
So let me segue into something.
Segue it.
So along those same lines, I've since been working on my own in the ICU, right? So I'm back into my own groove, and I'm like, things are starting to click, and I'm like starting to fire. So I ended up having an opportunity back when I was working in the operating room. I linked up with several current CRNAs, and all of them kept giving me this one lady's number. They're like, this is the lady you need to talk to. She's a CRNA, but she's also part of the admissions process for a particular school, local school, CRNA program. And so like she can give me some inside information, stuff like that, about maybe some tips and advice. So I ended up finally sending her a text. We linked up for a call. So I'm getting information from her, and I end up bringing up, she's like telling me, you know, of course, everybody's going to have all the certifications. Everybody's going to have the GPA. They're going to have the experience. But there's going to be different things like humanistic factors that make you stand out. They're going to be looking for leadership type of things because you're moving into a very elevated profession. So I was like, let me throw this at her, and I wasn't sure if I should, but I was like, well, I actually have this YouTube channel, and so I brought it up, and I was like, you know, Nurse Bass, this is all, this is the content. She's like, what's the name of it? I told her Nurse Bass, and she pulls it up right as we're on the phone, and like she sees the subscriber count, she sees the different kinds of videos. It's educational stuff. She sees the view count. She's like I've got friends at this one university, this local. I got friends at this other one, 2 schools. She's like, I want to forward these videos to them. But I was like, it was interesting. I was like, so do you think that this is something that I should put on the application? And she's like, absolutely. And she legit told me, she's been doing this for like 18 years. She said, never seen anybody have something like this impressive.
Dude, it's what I said to you the other day. That's that. I know you don't think it equates like that fucking Harvard next to your name on the resume, but it is a credit that is worth a lot. You know, just scroll through the fucking comments on your page. Look at how many nurses you've influenced, not just by inspiration, but when it comes down to learning the shit, right. You know, classes show your videos.
Yeah.
Like that's like, you're not somebody that's just going to go there and clock in. Like right. You're invested.
Yeah.
You know, you're a family of 2 nurses now, you know, like, you know, you have more credibility than most. And like, you know, you care. Look at all the messages that you put out there in the world. It's that of, you know, fucking grind, like with this nursing shit.
Yeah.
You know, Nurse Bass, that's you.
100%, man. Yeah.
So that's really dope.
It was real exciting. Whenever she told me that, I was like, because it's so hard to get into these programs. It's so difficult, man. They accept like 20 people a year. And like I said, everybody's got all the certifications. They got everything. So, but I'm really hoping that is like the ace in the pocket that when the time comes.
So fucking, I've seen you manifest some shit too, man. And I look forward to this being that manifestation of this thing too. you know?
No, I'm sorry. That threw me off.
You manifesting this fucking job that you want to eventually have, you know?
Oh, yeah.
We'll watch that culminate here on the show.
Oh, we will.
You know?
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I really am.
And we'll always look back. We'll look back on all this.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like now, whenever I first started the Nurse Bass shit, like I look back on it now. It's like, dude, let's
Imagine like how you just put that video up of like you reviewing your not the review, but your reaction video to your first ever Nurse Bass video. Like we're gonna have a reaction to our first with the drape like hanging, and yo, it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be fire, man.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Because I know anything, and I don't want to say toot my own horn, but I feel like I'm a realist, and I'm seeing a pattern that's consistent within myself and within you is that whenever we put our mind to something, and not to be cliche, but we manifest the shit.
Yeah.
And not to overuse the word manifest. But it just happens. And so it's exciting to know that, like you said earlier, as long as we just continue along this trajectory, like we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah. And there'll be those dips, but like, you know, that's what your family and friends are for, to like lift you up, remind you of who you are and all that you've accomplished.
Yeah.
You know? Somebody at work told me something like, this is like your shit. Like, this is what you talked about. You made it happen. Like, now, you know, do it. Like, be the inspiration for all of us to be like, you know, I remember when that motherfucker was right here.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and look where he is now.
Yeah.
You know? And, you know, I think maybe it's because from where I come from, like, you know, sometimes it's hard to see yourself like that sometimes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I'm trying to work on is like, you have a certain view of yourself, but others have a different view of you,
right?
You know?
Right, yeah, we talked about that.
And there should be like some kind of balance. Like you shouldn't be some narcissist that believes that you never do anything wrong. Like you got to G-check yourself.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm usually kind of hard on myself, you know?
We all are, man.
And so just that validation from people, just like you got from them, like, you know, it just reinstates that mindset of like, I am this,
right?
You know, I am this.
Yep.
So
you start to finally buy into yourself.
Fuck yeah, man. And it sucks that like, you know, so moving down here and being where I was and starting all the way, not only starting over, but going lower than I was 10 years ago, just on a pay scale.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to be like, no, well, I'm still this. It's like, you know, for me, it was such a huge ego check, but I'm so happy that I did it and I'm where I am now, because if I would have just stayed where I was and kept climbing there, I feel like there would have been some things lost in translation, you know, but now I'm reminded of those things, like, because it was not too long ago, you know. Now it wasn't 10 years ago that I was like that. It was a year ago. It was a couple months ago. You know.
Yep.
You know, it's fucking.
And then it should also be validation that you did go from where you were to taking a very, very big step down, and to see in such a short amount of time how quickly you were able to regain and recapture that.
And even higher.
And even higher. Right, exactly. To go above and beyond where you were, onward and upward. And let's not forget the fact though. I mean, so for people who may be listening in, I still feel like a certain bit of luck that's associated with things like these moments in our lives.
I was talking about this shit earlier. So me finding this place and walking into this place randomly, that's luck. But there was a lot of people I started with, and they're not where I am now.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't get that call back, but it's because of my hard work and because, you know, I work how I work, and I feel like I try to differentiate myself from the pack. That's what got me where I am right now.
Yep.
That luck got me in the door, but that hard work sustained it. And
preach, brother.
And so it is a combination of both.
100%.
That you need that luck. But, like, you know, my philosophy forever is always like, no matter what I do, I'm gonna work the hardest. Like, and you know, we've both had the most minuscule jobs, like, you know, fucking like rough shit. But even when I was like delivering pizzas or fucking making pizzas or being a janitor, all these things, not to demean anybody that has those jobs, but you know, I wanted more. And yeah, it's a great point. Like luck is a part of that.
Yeah.
Luck is a part of a lot of people's successes. And the successful people that talk about that shit, that's real.
Yeah, it is real.
You know, because you know Joe Rogan talks about that a lot.
Does
Like
he?
I'm one of the luckiest people in the world, but I guarantee you there's people with better luck than him that aren't where he is and doing what they
Right.
love to do on a daily basis. Because it's that luck, but it's that effort too.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
that's
the individual.
what. Because I was in there with a lot of people. You know, people that were even there before me. Like, you know, so yeah, that's so crazy how like, you know, we have our own lives and me and you and we go through our own shit, but we talk about things with people in our lives separately, but it's still very similar.
Yeah.
I was talking about that shit today.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Similar minds.
Man, but it just feels so good to like, you know, be back on here recording.
This fucking set.
And you know, this is like such an outlet for me, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
And you know, we're not 100% sure of like, you know, the exact schedule we're going to be on in order to make these videos and stuff, because I am going to have to go away for this job, but I'll be back and forth. And you know, whatever it is that we have to do, like this is so therapeutic for both of us. And you know, if it helps one person, it's all fucking worth it. So however we got to do it, we're going to, you know, stick at it. All this stuff is going to continue evolving. And I'm excited to see where things look in 2020.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting year. I've already got a lot of stuff planned. We're going to continue to develop this. You're going to be grinding in your new shit. The sky's the motherfucking limit.
Yeah, man.
Just continue manifesting. Continue working hard. Continue setting goals. Crush the motherfuckers. Like I said in the beginning.
And
Don't let anything stop you from what you're trying to do.
and just set those small goals and big goals, but it's good to,
And keep chipping away.
you know, simplify things. But
Yep.
you know, and we're not just sitting here fucking preachy either. If you watch our videos, you've seen where things weren't always that good. So, you know, it's not always going to be like where we're just like, dude, this is our focus and, you know, we ain't fucking, like when we're feeling the way we feel, we're going to be open about that shit. But right now, you know, things are good and it's grind mode.
Yeah, we're just documenting our existence on this planet, baby.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing, man.
And, you know, in 2020, I really do want like fan interaction and us to be able to, you know, be more of this back and forth, you know, because we talk a lot about where we are in our lives. And, you know, that's awesome for you to get to know us. This is what the basis of this is. So when we do talk 2 years from now, you're like, where the fuck did that come from? No,
Right.
motherfucker, we've been talking about this for 2 years. This is who we are. So, yeah, this has been the basis of our show is like, you know, you getting to know us, who we are. But we both have a lot of different perspectives on life and situations, and we want to help. So, you know, any of that interaction, we don't always just want to talk about ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, we want to help you guys out. And, you know, if I could help, I feel like we already have helped a few people from this, but, you know, if we could help one more or two more, like, you know, it means, to me, it means everything.
Yeah. It's very gratifying. It makes it all worth it. It's fun just to sit here and document our lives and to spend this time together.
Yeah, yeah.
Time is the most valuable asset, as we've said before, and
Hell yeah.
to be able to spend it in this kind of company that we're steel sharpens steel, it's beneficial. But yeah, it's so worth it to get the messages, to get the comments. You know, I have to give a shout out. Like, Peg, throw her IG handle on the screen. Like, I got to give a shout out to Amber. Like, she's really been grinding. I've been trying to watch her progress and
crazy,
keeping
bro.
up with her posts, and
Sticking to it too.
Like, I'm proud of you too, Amber. Like, this guy's grinding his ass off, right? And so we've talked about him and we've given the guy a little praise, but let's talk about you for a second. She's putting in work, man, and it's exciting to see. I know her too. I don't know her as well as I know you, but like, I've known her since we were kids also. And
Yeah.
she's like a sister to me, and so to see that kind of progress, that kind of effort, knowing that it, you know, when speaking with her personally, that it stemmed from seeing you pursue your dreams here with this podcast. That's the kind of stuff that makes it all worth it.
It's the ultimate feeling.
So moving into this new year, man, appreciate you for tuning in whenever you do watch. But if you feel so inclined, man, let's make this a little bit more of a community. You know, leave the comment down below. You know,
Fuck yeah.
Throw submissions in. The email's always in the description. We're all down for interaction, man.
Yeah, just let us know like where you're at, and you know, if you're low or high, or if you drew inspiration or whatever it is, like, you know, we wanna interact, man. That's what this show. This show is to document our shit, but it's also, you know, it's about this people. Like, you know, when I watch podcasts,
I'm in the room.
I'm in the room with them. You know, I'm listening to people that I look up to.
Don't get too close.
Don't get
Stay
too
over
close.
there.
Yeah, don't.
Stay over there.
You could zoom in, but
Don't get up. But yeah, 100%. So
think about the people. I know we're about to end, but piggybacking on what you just said, think about the other people that we grew up with that are accomplishing shit. Like, look at Tyree.
yeah,
I just saw him in Home Depot. I didn't see what his final cost was, but I know he was buying a lot of shit for his business, Chris Catering.
yep,
Throw up the logo.
yep.
Fucking, you know, investing in himself. He wasn't
Absolutely.
buying that shit because he wants it. Like, he was doing that for his company.
Yeah.
And Luke.
Yeah, I was
like,
gonna say I have to shout Luke out too.
Yeah. Like,
just got his own house.
like-
He's moving up in his company.
fucking, you know, I know Amy does like a lot of stuff. Like,
Oh, she's grinding too.
Billy, like everybody's doing like a good job, you know?
Isn't it? And it's interesting that we all came from the same source.
Yeah.
At
yeah.
one point, we were all of our paths crossed,
Yeah.
all simultaneously at the same time. And I don't know, man. Something about the environment from which we came, perhaps,
Some in the water.
molded us into what we are.
And no matter how long I live in the South, it's water.
And it all started with the mindset, man. So I can't harp on that enough. It all started with the mindset. Like,
We want better.
we all came from a certain environment, and we want better. Yep, that was the basis for it all.
We saw, like, you
By
know,
any, hold on, wait, legit.
and we all saw,
That's the thumbnail, by the way.
and it could be the episode name,
I think so.
but we all saw, you know, and the people we love the most and our parents, of like, you know, they struggled a lot.
Yeah.
And you know, it was rough for them. You know, sometimes I like put myself in like my mom's shoes. Like, she was raising me and my sister, and fucking, dude, she was working her ass off. Like, that's why we raised ourselves, because our parents were working,
Yep.
doing whatever they
Latchkey
could
kids.
just to make sure that, you know, rent was paid.
Right.
You know, and
Surviving.
you know, that's what we've been doing for a long time too. But we're striving to make sure our kids like see something else. Like, you know, I grew up around a lot of kids who, you know, had good families. Like, once I moved to New Jersey, a lot of those kids, like, you know, come from a good place, and they don't have as many, like, you know, everyone has struggles like internally, but they have a better foundation.
Yeah.
You know,
Better starting point.
and that's so important. Like, Montana's going to these piano lessons.
That's dope.
And you know, there's a girl teaching her piano lessons. The girl's like 19 or whatever, but she runs her own business. She's like, you know, a teacher at such a young age, and she has like a good foundation. Montana talked to her parents and stuff, and you know, it's so important to be able to give your kids that and be able to give them the opportunity. Otherwise, you're gonna play catch up. Like, for somebody like me in Montana, like, you know, we're learning these things later on in life,
Right.
that like we're late at.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And it sucks having to play catch up with yourself and with your emotions and with everything.
Right.
Like, I don't want to give my kid that. I don't want them to have to play catch up. And like, you know, where I've been, it's like, you know, for a long time, I just considered myself like a fucking, like a kid,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I just like to do shit that make me happy. And that's cool.
Right.
That's great. But, you know, growing up, I think took a little longer for me than most people.
Sure.
Or maybe not most people, maybe just took a little longer for me than I would have liked.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I'm playing catch up with certain things that, like, nobody ever showed me this way. Like,
Right.
you know, my dad passed away when I was 17, and we didn't have, like, an open relationship to where he showed me how to be a man.
Mm-hmm.
I come from an alcoholic family where everything is hidden and suppressed. So, you know, I had to teach myself. And I had so many, like, failures.
Yep.
And so many like mishaps because that I had to learn on my own, and I'm gonna continue to have them, you know, because I don't have like a great foundation, you know.
And how much better off are your kids gonna be though?
Dude,
You
like
know?
I'll be validated through that.
Tenfold.
Yeah.
Tenfold better off.
Yeah, man.
And so not only is the fact that you had to learn these things on your own going to be beneficial to them, but now it's also your responsibility.
Yeah.
Even though you were dealt a shit hand and we just didn't have this most solid of foundations growing up, it's now our responsibility.
Yeah.
It's now greater than us.
Because it's, you know, it's an easier excuse for me to like put a kid through like some rough times and shit like that than it is for somebody who comes from a good family. I have a better excuse because I had shit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's an excuse.
Yep.
So
It's
like,
in your hands.
yeah, it's in your hands, and the life that you lived and that you were dealt, whether it be shitty or good,
It don't define you,
it don't
motherfucker.
define you. And you know, it's just an excuse if you just blame that.
That's right.
You know,
That's
it's,
right.
even if it's a good excuse, it's just that one word. It's an excuse.
And if you want better, manifest it, baby. That's
Yeah.
real.
So join this fucking journey with us.
That whole thing was the sales pitch.
But it's a good damn sales pitch, bro. Maybe we should get into sales.
I only expect the best from those type of shit, boys.
Nah, but for real, pretty soon, man, I want this merch to drop, because I want to wear that shit myself.
Yeah.
And the few people who want it, I want you guys to have it. And you know, this is the beginning of something real special, man.
Yeah.
Like this community, like that we're building and we're gonna build. I'm so fucking excited about that. Like you know, it's awesome, man.
Onward and
I
upward,
got
baby.
chills.
Onward and upward. Episode 20. The reason why this feels so monumental, we mentioned way back, is that episode 20 is typically whenever new startup podcasts die.
Yeah,
whenever they
statistically,
stop.
that's right around the time that podcast stopped.
And so that's why my opening monologue was so important to me anyway,
Me too.
is because
That was the best one yet.
no matter what happens, no matter what I encounter in this new year, I'm not going to let anything stop me from what I'm here to do.
Fuck yeah.
Hit the subscribe button. Follow us for the journey. We appreciate your time. We will stop the shit, boys.
It's been a pleasure. Peace out, people.
Deuces.
Lying in